just saying there, Steve, my eyes are absolutely goosed. They really are. What was that saying? Goose for I can't remember.
There's plenty of sayings about gooses, but we're not going to go there, John. Welcome on in, folks, to Entertainment News here on this Monday night at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel, our Twitch stream, and of course our Spotify podcast if you're listening on in when this drops. Not the now, it's not live. But anyway, but Ranbir Kapoor, John, we're going to be talking about Robert Downey Jr. and we're going to be talking about the Marvels as well.
We're going to talk about
very much box office show we're having tonight.
We're going to talk about Shane MacGowan.
I suppose we could, John. I was
going to speak about it last week, but
on a serious note, I think so, John. I know you were going to talk about it last week, but obviously this time of year's crazy for yourself and your job.
It was just me deciding I was going to put pickups in a guitar,
and I mean, I started writing. I actually started writing a piece on it for the website, and I went, it's probably too late now. To put, but I might get back to it and sort of redraft it as a sort of tribute more than just a news piece, if you know what I mean. But I mean, Shane MacGowan, we talked about his Crock of Gold documentary a couple of years ago, John, and it was a great show. And
not for me, it wasn't.
I think he's someone that's probably been in most of our lives at our age group. Fantastic. I've seen the tributes, John. I've been watching the Late Late Show, the Patrick Kilty thing. On YouTube and stuff like that. All the tributes that have been coming in, it's been fantastic. Just knowing the guy, them knowing the guy, not me knowing the guy. I didn't know Shane. Just a fantastic poet, first and foremost. Great lyricist, and just came across as just a normal guy, that just liked doing what he did, and he's going to be sorely missed.
Absolutely, Stephen. I can't really add much more than that. I'd seen that he was in hospital and had been in hospital for a good few months. I think he had issues with his hips or something. He had a fall, wasn't able to walk properly for a long time. Then I'd seen he'd been released. In my mind, I thought, well, hopefully this is good news. And then obviously the bad news comes through late last week, and I thought, well, perhaps he's been let home to be with his family. Look, man, it comes to us all. Sadly, that's what goes on within life, flows on within you and without you, as George Harrison famously said 50 years ago. And it's true. We're all going to get a shot at it. But he had a really colourful and impactful life. Yeah. And as Oasis once famously sung, live forever. Yeah. I keep saying it every time someone of prominence passes away. I think you measure your life on the impact you've had on others, the memories you create, your legacy. That will live on forever, long after you've departed this world. And Shane's going to have a long, long legacy and a long sort of impactful, impact on people's lives for generations to come, just for that Christmas song alone.
I think as well, John, that's the one that sort of spearheaded them into sort of the British culture in a way, because I don't want to get too political or anything like that, John, but at the time they came out, obviously, being Irish wasn't the most popular thing to be in the UK, unfortunately, but there's something about
Irish, no dogs.
There was something about that band that sort of broke those barriers, just with their talent, their sheer raw talent. As you said, the Fairy Tale of New York single with the late, great Kirsten McCall was the one that made them more commercial, more accepting on Radio 1, etc., that probably wouldn't have been played prior to that. Not just Radio 1, but any of those sort of channels. And I think, my uncle was a massive fan of them, saw them a few times live, and just some great lyrics in there from the songs, and Sally McLaughlin probably one of my favourite ones. It's a great pub song, that everyone can join in. Yeah. And just very talented guys, as a whole. But Shane obviously was the front man. He was the man that everyone, when you mentioned the Pogues, he was the first person you thought of, you know. They did the duet obviously with the Dubliners as well, the Irish Rover in the late 80s as well, which was very popular around all the Irish pubs and probably some of the Glasgow pubs as well. But there's just something about that band, they were very uplifting, a lot of their music was melancholy as well, very romantic, at times emotional. They covered all areas in terms of emotions. It wasn't just about drunken rabbles and stuff like that. The words did mean something, the music meant something.
And that's the best artist. Yeah. But look, sad to see that he's passed away. Hopefully, whatever pain and illness he was suffering with is long gone now, and he's
He's at
peace.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Shane, my man.
Yeah. You will never be forgotten.
You will not.
John, we're going to move on now to our headline news, and it's box office news, and I've been trying to, I don't know if you've noticed, I've been trying to sort of get us back into box office because obviously COVID killed our little show that we used to do, box office chat, and I like doing that on a Monday.
Killed that logo as well though, which was a good thing. That logo was...
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. It's better than I could do. It's a lot better.
There's a logo for everything, Stephen, infamously, as you know.
Yeah, John. The last few weeks we've been talking
movie
about
Burner news reaction.
We've been talking about
movie Burner podcast reaction.
Ridley Scott's Napoleon. We've been talking about Wish. We've been talking about the Hunger Games. We have been talking about Animal, but we've been talking about Animal differently. But this week we're talking about obviously the box office figures.
I've got some Rotten Tomatoes reviews up as well. It's
this will be
certainly
interesting.
Shaking people up, I tell you.
I've not seen that, John, but if you want, you can go onto our website at movieburnerentertainment.org and you can actually read these articles. So I'm not going to get right into it. We've actually mentioned it, or John has, I'm not taking the credit for it, but he's mentioned the first 5 in the top box office and what they're performing. But we're here to talk about Animal. We're here to talk about it dominating the global box office and surpassing Napoleon and the Hunger Games new film as well. So Sandeep Vangar Reddy's action-packed Bollywood venture Animal, starring Ranbir Kapoor, claimed the global top spot with a staggering $42.1 million released across 38 territories in North America. It secured $6.1 million, ranking 7th, while in India it dominated at number 1, amassing $28.8 million over the weekend. The film revolves around Kapoor's character, the son of India's well-faced man, played by Anil Kapoor, facing off against an antagonist portrayed by Bobby Deol. The narrative explores
controversy surrounding that as well.
Masculinity reminiscent of Reddy's previous works like Arjun Reddy and Kabir Singh. Dennis Harvey of Variety, I think this is where this information is plucked from, John. Animal satirises chest-thumping masculinity with a blend of 007, Godfather, Hercules and Leatherface.
What a combination that is.
I didn't really get the Leatherface stuff in the...
I think it's violent, Stephen. It's very violent. People are saying it's 80% violent, and the rest is narrative-driven, so it's a very violent film. And we certainly did get that in the trailers. Lots of blood, lots of shooting, lots of violence.
Now, for the second time this year, John, an Indian film has caught the attention of Hollywood. Let's just say Hollywood. It has, hasn't it? You know, a lot of people are talking about this film now, just like they were Triple R. Was that at the start of this year or was that last year? I can't remember.
It was last year, yeah.
Was it last year?
Oscars.
Yeah, the Oscars, that's what it was. That's why I'm thinking. But it still did catch the imagination of the American going public and the British as well, John. And it seems to be happening again with this Bollywood action-packed film as well, starring Ranbir Kapoor.
Doesn't surprise me, Stephen, because the trailers, the promotional push was very impressive. The film looked, from the trailers, to be on a technical level every bit as good as any Western movie you'll see, and that's something we've seen across the board in India over the last 10 years plus, man. Lots of money being spent on these regional kind of movies. This is a Bollywood film, so that particular industry over in India has been getting a lot of backing, a lot of money spent on movies, TV shows for a long, long time. That's why in the minds of a lot of Western people, they think of Indian cinema, they think Bollywood right away. And I know that winds up people from the south, from the middle of India, who have their own regionalised industries, Collywood, Tollywood, I think they've got sandalwood and stuff like that. But we've seen this sort of, not demonstrable, but an exponential rise in quality of the films and the TV on a visual level. And that's not me doing it down. We went back and watched movies from 30 years ago, and they've got their own artistic brilliance about them, but they are black and white, some of them. And the quality is not what Western movies were putting out 30 years ago. So there's been a real exponential increase in the technical level of skill and whatnot being shown in these films. So it doesn't surprise me. On a sheer technical level, the movie looked incredible. Stunningly shot, popped, looked really enjoyable. I was buzzing, Stephen. I wanted to go and see this film, and I may still go and see it, because if we go to the Rotten Tomatoes score here, we're seeing a similar thing that we see with big Western action, violent action movies at that, and that there's a split between the critics sort of response and the audience response. The critical response being 35%, the audience liking it a whole lot more.
Yeah.
We've seen this previously before the movies. I've discussed this on numerous shows, solo shows that I do. This chasm between the average cinema goer and the person who's writing it and sort of bringing it down and
but why do you think that's the
a
case, John? Why do you think the critics and the audience scores is such a wide...
Because they're looking for something different, Stephen. They're looking for narrative, human condition stuff. They are more into, I don't know, sort of drama-driven, psychological kind of films, or
maybe overly analytical.
Would you think? Overly analytical, Stephen. Whereas the audience, and they're correct, they're probably the best people to judge it off of. They're going into the theatre to just have an experience, a good time, sit down with some popcorn. If they do that, I'd imagine they do that everywhere. That's universal. And just enjoy a good 2.5, 3 hour film. I think this is over 3 hours, and 3 hours, 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
So they're going in for a different kind of experience than the critical mind is going in for. They're going in to dissect the film and look for imperfections. Yeah. And we've seen that before. Five Nights at Freddy's being the most recent one here, taken apart, panned by the sort of critic mind, if you like, the mind hive, the sort of liberal people with ulterior motives. And then the audience loved it and it made big money. And we're seeing this again, Stephen, 85%, and it's making big money. And you look at the backdrop, and I don't like to do this, man. I don't like to sort of stereotype these reviewers, but you do look at the people involved. They're not the type of people who are going to enjoy a toxic masculinity movie with lots of violence and chest thumping. Pro Makosla, IndieWire. She's not enjoyed it. She's rated it rotten. Shubhra Gupta, not enjoyed it, rated it rotten. Fong Lee from The Guardian, not enjoyed it, rated it rotten. These are not the type of people that I would... I mean, there you've got Dennis Harvey, but again, it's variety. Jimmy Cage has enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Sukanya Virma from Red Diff enjoyed it. They've sort of more independent publications, if you'd like. You went in with a more open and transparent
the ones
attitude towards the film.
The ones above, John, it could be a
big
case
publication, Stephen.
Sometimes I think they get writing with what they think who they work for wants to what they want to read.
Yeah,
more than anything.
I've not seen it yet.
No, not at all. Not yet. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be. I always wondered why there was always this gulf between critics scoring and audience scoring, and why is that? You know, but you're absolutely right. I think people don't get into it. You know, people want to escape life, you know, at times, and they want to just have a bit of escapism, go into the theatre and just enjoy an action-packed film that doesn't make sense at times. It defies the laws of physics at times. It doesn't matter, you know, and you might get a dance routine in the middle of a fight. It doesn't matter. You know, it's all about how they tell that story and how you connect with the characters and how you enjoy the story as well. And the visuals have got a big play in it as well when it comes to action films. Let's not beat around the bush, you know. They don't normally get spoke of highly by the critics in that sense, because, you know, they're looking at other things in the film. To
be fair, John Wick Chapter 4 did get a pretty decent response, and then the sort of more cynical minds came in afterwards and slammed it. There was people saying it was a triumph of set pieces, action set pieces, and choreography, and just great action storytelling. But you'll have that sort of, I don't know, sort of.
But in particular with Animal, John, from what we saw from the trailer, the full trailer, and I think it was myself that mentioned it, was that there seems to be a lot of drama in it as well, a lot of dialogue, and I think perhaps maybe Jimmy sort of touches on that.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
You know, in the sense, you know,
Fresh the Godfather, totally original, and Fresh the Godfather remix with an insane Ranbir Kapoor. That's what I'm getting, and in abundance, having read up this film. Ranbir Kapoor is certainly insane in this, and very violent. A super strong Rashmika Mandanna, which is what we want to see. We want to see powerful female actors and characters in these films. That's something we've kind of criticised before, Stephen, in Indian cinema. The utilisation of the female role in the film, often relegated to being a side arc.
Yeah.
Sort of tangent, a romantic tangent.
What was the SRK? What was it? Jawan? No, was it Jawan?
No, we watched Patan. Yeah, she was very strong.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see
more of. The Pika Padukone character, yeah. We want to see more of that. We want to see Samantha type roles in The Family Guy, the Family Guy, The Family Man. That's The Family Man, isn't
Family
it?
Man,
Fucking
yeah.
hell.
Family Guy's the animated thing,
yeah. Don't want to talk about that. We already went down rabbit holes today before the show even started. The initial show, not this one, a different one that's now been deleted. Above all, the right amount of humour and irony.
Oh, did you do a
It was
show
AI.
before this, John?
Yeah, it was
That's-
AI.
okay.
Yeah, it was all AI, Stephen. It was just a test. See how AI could handle the Glaswegian accent.
Hope
And
they didn't sound like me.
I have to say, I think they did a great job. They sounded like us, exactly.
Wow.
Fantastic. Oh, Stephen, look.
Voiceify, try it.
But Stephen, getting back to the sort of heart of this, man, it's impressive numbers. Look, 38 territories, man. We spoke about this. We spoke about the wider and wider reach, the influence of Indian cinema now. And I don't know if this has always been the case or if it is a sort of more modern phenomenon where they are releasing in wider territories and more countries are now switching on to the great filmmaking and storytelling that is available on the subcontinent. I just hope to see people switching on to the TV content, the likes of, I don't know, Sacred Games and even Made in Heaven and Murjapur, all the great shows we've watched, even the TVF stuff, Panchayat, Quota Factory. There's so many incredible TV shows and films. Just don't react to them because you'll get your channel blocked out there, and I want to see people switching on to it. So you see that 38 territories.
So I was just thinking there, just when you mentioned one of the TV shows, I can't remember if it was Quota Factory or TVF, not TVF, what was it called?
Aspirants, yeah.
And it was a trailer reaction we did. So
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
not understand
You'll not
this.
understand. I spoke about that,
We've watched season 1, guy.
And watched it, enjoyed it, rated it very highly. We
We
understood
watched the
everything.
spin-offs as
I
well.
don't think I understand that Indian examinations are incredibly difficult, some of the toughest on the planet, and incredibly competitive. There's so many people trying to get in, and there's a limited amount of spots. I get it. It's on
say we don't
steroids,
understand it, though.
but just about every single country on the planet has examinations. You have studying, and there's a competition, a healthy
And they all
competition.
think theirs is the toughest.
They all fit, yeah, but I think to be fair, the ITE, what was IT? The ITEs, that's
yeah.
the people who pass it. That is a really, really difficult test. I think that is one of the toughest tests. And then obviously UPSC, USBC, that sounds like an animal protection agency. When I say it's the UPSC, but then that sounds like Halo to me. But that test from aspirants is even more difficult, and it's adults. It's
John,
more mature minds who are
in terms of
going in.
the
So it is
content and the tone of that, those spin-offs as well, I'll include them as well. You can sense the stress in those characters.
It is a UPSC.
The UPSC.
Civil Services exam. So there you go, I was right.
But I think it was well written, and it was written so that folks like us could understand the pressures and how difficult that life is. I think we got
Stephen,
it. I really do think we got it.
Stephen, I'm good friends with a guy from Hyderabad. He's an incredibly intelligent guy. He now is a doctor over in Abu Dhabi. And I spoke to this guy about India, about the food, about the culture, about education, everything. I'm well switched on to what's happening in India. I worked with the guy for a long, long time. So I know the score. So don't tell me I don't fucking understand. I've also got family going back 2 generations from India. So I'm Indian. I'm 2% Indian.
So
I know I don't look like it, but I fucking am. So come on, behave. But look, man, fantastic money. 42.1 million, 28.8 over the weekend. It's dominating. It's now number 1, I think, in the global box office. I think Napoleon's still number 1 in the United States, which is to be expected. But it done good numbers in the United States as well, Stephen. 6.1 is not to be sneered at. 7th overall. That's very, very impressive. And again, it's showing that there is an interest now in Western spheres and Indian cinema. That can only be a positive thing. I know you'll have figures in India, the type who like to comment on some of our videos saying, fucking this, that, views, and I'm not going to repeat some of the things I said. I've laughed at it. I don't actually care.
Just come in.
But you know, there'll be little hateful people who don't want it to be appreciated by a wider audience. But I think in the main, most people from India will appreciate the eyeballs that are now going on, the content, the likes of Triple R, SS Rajamouli, SRK for years and years and years, decades. They'll enjoy the fact that these stories are being experienced by an international audience now.
Why is it taking this long, though?
I don't know. I think, to be fair, I think Bollywood has had reach.
It has
Stephen.
always, John, we did box
always
office,
had
to be
reach.
fair, and it always had Indian
But
films.
not these numbers.
But not these numbers. That's what I mean.
It was
why
it was
now?
like 10th
you know? Yeah.
in the UK box office with like 1 million. it wasn't grossing like 6.7 million in its first week in the United States, breaking into the near enough top 5. So, and beating out a Ridley Scott historic epic. I say epic, apparently it's absolute dog shite, Napoleon.
I'd still watch it though.
Yeah, if I can, I mean, if it comes on to Apple TV, I'll watch it. I'm not going to get a theatre to watch a 2.5 hour Braveheart, but it's Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah.
Not doing that. I mean, I tolerate Braveheart because I'm Scottish and they're slaughtering English people, and it's like, fucking yes, paint my face blue, run about. They never did that, by the way, in the Independence Wars. They didn't wear blue paint on their face. That's fucking
Robert
bollocks.
Bruce story was just
Robert the Bruce he was Braveheart.
Yeah,
it wasn't William Wallace, it was Robert the fucking Bruce, it was Braveheart. And I still argue with family members about that to this day. He was a traitor. He fucking wasn't. He was King of Scotland. He was Braveheart. What are you talking about? I digress, man. Very good numbers.
Yeah.
And great to see it performing well.
John,
just a shame about the
Bobby Dale. You were going to talk about
Bobby Dale. Yeah, apparently very limited screen time in this film. People were kicking off about it, and I think he's come out and responded to it. And by all accounts, it's a mute performance. He's not speaking. Maybe someone who's in the comments or whatever, maybe after the fact, can confirm whether he actually speaks in this movie or not. I was about to say show. Don't know why. But apparently it's a mute performance. It's a show. It's our show. Speaks in our show. Confirm whether it is a mute performance or not. But apparently he's not in the movie a huge amount. Limited screen time. He's playing the villain.
It's funny.
I think it's more a story about this turbulent guy that is a Ranbir Kapoor character. I think it's more about him and his relationship with his father and the violence he descends into. So he's almost.
It's funny why no one's mentioned that limited screen time in our comment section, unless I've missed it. I've not seen anyone comment about that, and everyone's raving about Bobby Dale on our reaction for the trailer.
He's a very popular guy, by all accounts. But yeah, man, I've not seen the movie yet, so I can't tell you. I can't speak from any sort of authority.
That's all facts and figures, John. And you did mention, obviously, there is obviously thumping masculinity with a blender. That's not obviously your words, that's Dennis Harvey of the Variety publication. So yeah, I mean, I think at some point
we kind of got that in the trailer, didn't we?
I think it depends on obviously availability in here in Glasgow, but I would be very much similar to yourself, John. Go out and watch this in the cinema.
It's a commitment though. It's 3 hours and 22
and
minutes long.
I mean, December's jam packed as well with so many films coming out.
Holy shit, that's long.
We're going to stay on box office, so John, and this is actually a bit I'd say it's a bit depressing actually talking about this.
I was going to speak about this last week.
Yeah, I mean the Marvels, John, is the latest superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it has become the lowest grossing installment, accumulating $80 million in North America and $197 million globally over 4 weeks. Despite a $220 million budget, Disney anticipates limited revenue in December and is sees reporting weekend box office results. The film slated to run through New Year's plummeted to 11th place with $2.4 million in its fourth weekend. I'll stop there, John. The article it's only 4. Yeah, it's very short and sweet. But you've got obviously the. I've
got limited time, guys. You've got to give me a break here.
He's got editing. He's got graphics.
Limited time. Give me a fucking break.
As well as a full-time job.
Sound test. I'm not doing a good fucking job of it, am I?
And a full-time Harley as well. So sorry,
I'm ripping pickups out of the guitar. I was going to say my bird's head's falling off. That's the sort of tone I try to do with taking pickups out of the guitar. That was my choice on my
John, how are you feeling about this? I'm very disappointed. As much as I wasn't when I first watched Captain Marvel get caught up in this, you remember I rated it.
I liked it.
And I did like it. Like
it says it was mid-tier.
Yeah, probably like The Last Jedi.
I remember writing down the notes for the Last Jedi review in your mother and father's house, Stephen. I think we were eating, I don't think it was a takeaway, it may have been a roast.
Yeah.
And I was talking very positively. I'm going to go and message Ryan Johnson on Twitter. Let him know. Those hateful people. I've got his back. Fucking prick. And then I watched it again. I'm not going to bother. And I'm glad I didn't message him.
I wouldn't say
tweet him.
I wouldn't say Captain Marvel was the same sort of thing, but I think in terms of I don't know what went wrong. I think they gave something to do with pandemic related here, but
I've not seen it.
Nonsense. It's got nothing to do with that at all. Bob Iger, nothing at all to do with the pandemic.
Bob Iger's the pandemic. Fucking hell,
Yeah.
it was 2 years ago.
I know, get over
It
it.
ended. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, Disney CEO
It's Bob Chapek,
Iger
that's the problem. You
attributes the
overseen
film's
this.
struggle to pandemic-related production challenges, prompting a re-evaluation of billion-dollar expectations. Don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
I'm
Stephen,
not
it
buying
could
that, I'm
be
sorry.
because obviously the pandemic came at that point.
It
Marvel,
delayed the sequel. It did.
well, I mean, we
delay it.
had Black Widow come out on the streaming service.
Yeah.
We did have a delay. Obviously, impacted.
Shang-Chi,
Shang-Chi came out and I went and
Doctor
seen that in
Strange,
the theatre.
the one that the Eternals, was it?
Eternals, yeah.
I went to see that.
Spider-Man, No Way Home came out after the box office, after the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it could have had an impact, Stephen, because obviously people maybe just now starting to get back in the numbers. They were going to theatres pre-pandemic. And in that little period just after and in the midst of the end stages of the pandemic, people probably weren't going out into the theatres to watch films like they were before.
Yeah.
And that impacts on box office, it impacts on the bottom line of Disney. And when it impacts on the bottom line of Disney, that then impacts on how much money they can continue to spend in other films moving forward. If you keep producing flop after flop after flop, and it's underperforming and just about breaking even, you'll not get confidence from the executive, you've not got confidence from the filmmakers, there's no confidence in the actors, there's no confidence in the entire organisation. I was going to speak about this last week, but Bob Iger is stepping down again at the end of his contract. I think it's in 2 years, 2025 it ends, or 2024, maybe next year. And I was going to speak about it because it's massive, Stephen. It's massive, man, because he stepped down the last time and put Bob Chapek in, and it was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Just after that, Scarlett Johansson was taking them to court.
Yeah, it's like the train has derailed from that moment, and it's just not got back on track again. And I don't think it ever will, John. Even Deadpool, it does mention here in your article at the end that it's the only release from MCU for 2024. I think that's a wise move. I think they need to step back.
They do.
And take a break.
Do.
And I felt they should have done it after Endgame. I get the whole Spider-Man No Way Home thing was brewing at the time as well. Not No Way Home.
No Way Home.
The middle one. It was the middle one, sorry. It came right after.
Far From Home.
Far From Home,
Far From Home, yeah.
That was in production.
In London.
And obviously with the Sony commitment thing, I get they couldn't just end it. But I think this is the right move now. I think they really need to just take a step back, take a breather, just let everyone miss the MCU for a while. Because they've been, for the last, 13, 14 years now,
It's been constant.
it's just been 2-3 films every year.
Not always, though. I think it was more 2014 and beyond, wasn't it? They started to step up. Yeah, seen that comment. Odd time to stream. It's early 5 a.m. here. What to say, really enjoy your videos. Thank you very much, Jayesh Reddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's 25 past 11.
Yeah,
PM,
I mean,
yeah.
it's late here.
It's late here.
Not for John, it's late. It's
Fucking late.
for everyone else in the UK.
Fair, it is fucking late for me
Yeah.
as well, to be fair, Stephen. But yeah, I mean, thank you very much for enjoying the videos.
If we
Appreciate
could,
it.
we would stream live during the day
That'd be great,
if
wouldn't
this
it?
was our jobs. So please spread the word. Get everyone subscribed so we can get 100,000
Just talking about
subscribers.
that, Stephen.
Yeah.
I've got about
It's difficult. It's difficult to do this in the UK.
300,000 views in 3 of our last 10, 15 videos, and just fucking 10, 15, 20% of those people hit the subscribe button, and it's not that hard. We'd be over 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people's format, John, is when they do the introduction, i.e. me.
Subscribe.
So it's me. I should be doing that at the start rather than at the end, because you catch them at the start.
Yeah.
So maybe we can have the little graphic coming up at the start.
At the
I don't
start,
know.
yeah.
And
we
I
can.
go
It's easy
blah,
to
blah,
do.
blah, 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 blah. See
I mean,
all the
I
time,
literally
and I
just
don't
move
know.
it.
Yeah, I know you do it at the end, and you do a good job at it. You do a better job than I could. I'll just.
Yeah, I'd rather not say subscribe just now, though, the way that I've got dry mouth. It's going to be sounding like I'm having a fucking stroke. I've actually got...
I'll be like, Dick in fun with Dick and Jane.
I've got
Statistics.
pallets for... pallets.
If you remember
pastels. That's the word I'm looking for, pastels.
Statistics.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Not been that bad, to be fair. But yeah, I don't want to be saying subscribe. I just thought about that. But I'll do it. It's all good.
Yeah.
But well, Stephen, the Marvel's a fucking disaster, Stephen. Let's be honest. 197 million, shocking for a Marvel film. Terrible. Wasn't that long ago they were all grossing $1 billion. They were laughing at Ant-Man.
Yeah.
It was the black sheep of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. only grossing $400-500 million. They would kill now. They'd give their right or left. You know what?
Yeah.
To earn that kind of money just now. But they're not doing it, and it's flop after flop. I think I read something, it's the first time since maybe ever that there's been no $1 billion release from Disney in a calendar year. I think it's like a decade or something.
John, I just think
terrible
where
state.
Marvel, obviously the MCU is at the moment, even if they were to release an Avengers film this year, it would not perform well.
No.
I think people are burnt out. I think they're missing the older characters. And because what they've done is you're waiting maybe 3-4 years for each sequel now, because there's such an array of characters now. So and maybe Iger has got a point here in terms of the sort of momentum of the Captain Marvel stories. What was it? 2017, 2018 Captain Marvel came out. I can't remember. It was one of our first actual. It was one of our first reactions we did.
Before Infinity War,
yeah,
or Endgame. Sorry.
So it was 20.
Because the post credits of Infinity War was Nick Cage.
So it was
also
2018 then. So it's 2018. So you're talking 5 years.
Yeah.
Between sequels, and you saw what happened with the Man of Steel over at DC because they didn't follow up. It just I get that, John. It did lose momentum a little bit with not with us. We would go and wait, we'd watch and we'd enjoy, but with ordinary cinema goers that don't really have that much investment in these characters, they're not going to hang around for a sequel. They'll go, is that a sequel? Nah, I've kind of lost interest in that now.
But I think that's an important sort of analogy, whatever comparison you've used there. Wasn't an analogy, a comparison. DC and Marvel are now sort of Marvel are in the position DC were in 5-6 years ago, where there was just chaos at the executive level, disarray, films being released underperforming, no real coherent strategy, just try to fling things together, connect all the dots, and forgetting about the actual coherent self-contained story in each movie. Just miscasting. Talk of Pedro Pascal being cast as Mr. Fantastic, is it? I think Reed Richards. Poor decisions being made across that organisation. Yeah, can't have a fat Mr. Fantastic.
I laughed.
Not fat.
He's not.
Pedro Pascal's not fat at all. He's fat, then I'm fat. I'll tell you that right now, because he's better fucking shape than me.
I did laugh at it.
I'll actually have to see actual picture of his physique.
Yeah, I think he's got a kind of
chubby face.
Chubby face. Yeah, it's not even chubby. It's just kind of rounded.
He's not Ryan Gosling. Chiseled, but
he's more Ryan Johnson.
He's more Ryan Johnson, a little fat man.
He's not. I'm kidding.
But Stephen, they're in a disastrous spot just now, and they're making decisions that are just poor. And I think Bob Iger's admitted defeat here.
I think
that's why he's staying away.
I don't think he should have come back.
He can't even save it, and that's worrying. This guy's wrote books about being successful at business. He can't even save them. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if it is superhero fatigue.
It could be. It depends on Deadpool 3 as well. I think that's
just a separate entity though, Stephen.
But I think it might give people that sort of, I'm in love with comic book films again. Deadpool 3 had it out the park. I don't know if it will, but we'll just have to see.
JS says the Marvels cost $275 million US to make a 105-minute film. Endgame cost about $350 million. For a 3-hour film with an all-star cast, that really shows the execution of the directors and producers. That's when Marvel was at its absolute pomp, though.
Yeah.
That's when everything was going right.
Costa is a fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah, she is.
No doubt about it. But I get what you're saying. I get what Jay is saying. But again, that was a build-up of what was it? It was over a decade, wasn't it? It was over a decade worth of storytelling.
2007 to 2019. I want to say.
And it was all these little separate stories
2008
that weren't related to anything other than just having someone come in at the end or an end screen credit just to connect them.
That's the point, Steve.
But they're overlapping them now. They've got to connect. You're halfway through the film and all this crap, and they didn't have to do that.
Impacting on the film.
The formula changed and it didn't work. Yeah,
and look, Steve, I've said it. It's not been the same since Tony Stark and Steve Rogers left.
I like that timing, John.
Yeah, it's not been the same, and ultimately fans are not as engaged with the new characters. I like Simu Liu. I like the guy's an actor. I like him as a man, and I like Shang-Chi. But outside of him, fucking many other characters I've
not got you in there. Or Kevin hasn't. I actually proofread these.
Should we move on to that then? Because that kind of connects into this.
I'm going to chin Kevin over this one because he's threw me under the bus here because I proofread these and I didn't notice that. Remorse. We're going to talk about Robert Downey Jr. here, and we're going to talk about Iron Man. Ruled out by Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. John, I said Feige.
That's what they say, though, isn't it?
With Vanity Fair,
Iron Man.
Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige dispels rumours about the return of original Avengers, particularly Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and future phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU that is, by the way. Addressing the significance of Tony Stark's emotional final moments in Avengers Endgame, Feige emphasises the studio's commitment to preserving the pivotal moments achieved after years of hard work. Despite Downey's integral role as Iron Man, Feige recounts Marvel's initial hesitation in casting him due to a past legal troubles. I'm not going to read into that, John, because it's there anyway. It's a very, very short and sweet, but it gets to the point. Article from Kevin, good article, and it kind of highlights that the fact that he's not coming back because there is a significance in Tony Stark's emotional final moments. His sacrifice, John,
the mission of defeat, Stephen, if he came back.
Yeah, John.
Wow, my dog.
You know when we watched... It was Far From Home, the zombie Iron Man. I went, okay, I says, he's done, he's moved. Just this clinging on. I get that obviously the emotional connection Peter had to Tony. I get that, and that was him sort of in mourning. I get that, but they could have done that off screen. You know, we were dealing with a different thing, you know, in that film, and I just thought the next film on, it's like the Grogu thing. The whole emotional thing, and then he's back in it at the first opportunity. And I think that's a good example. I think that's a good example if they did this with Tony Stark. I
see that smell just now. That's how Grogu smells in my mind when I see him on the screen.
I'm thinking Tony Stank. Do you remember that scene from your man Tony Stank? What's his name? Stanley. Yeah. He was delivering a parcel or something. That's Tony Stank.
Those cameos, they were great back in the day.
And
miss that guy.
John, I'll be honest, Robert Downey Jr., not his biggest fan. I think at times,
I think he's great.
As a person, he's great, John. I'm talking about in acting. I think he's Robert Downey Jr. in everything he's in. That's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing. But what I'm saying is,
do you like the Sherlock movies?
I'm not a shill when it comes to Robert Downey Jr. And Iron Man took me by surprise. I wasn't keen on watching it. I think it may have been a year down the line before I actually got around to watching it. And when I did watch it, I went, that's good. That is really good. And I like Robert Downey Jr. in this. It's fantastic.
Stephen, you put me onto the Dark Knight trilogy as well. I was late to the party with that as well.
And the whole
so you, to be fair.
Emotional journey, not just his final moments, his whole journey, his transition from this selfish playboy in that first movie right through to his sacrifice in Endgame was just an emotional roller coaster.
Stephen, I maintain he should have been nominated for an Oscar for his work as Tony Stark, just as a cumulative story.
I think he was in 2008.
Was he?
But Heath Ledger got it.
No, I mean at the end.
For 20, at the end,
Just for the journey, where he went as a character. I know they don't do that. It's based on a singular sort of performance. But even then, a singular performance, you see the real change of Stark. See what I did there? Changing the character in that movie. Stark contrast in the character. It's remarkable. He's went from this self-absorbed billionaire playboy. Was he ever a playboy? I'm thinking about Bruce Wayne again, aren't I?
He's like Marvel's
philanthropist. I always like to say philanthropist, but that's not true. That's a person who gives to charity. I don't think Tony Stark ever gave to charity. Charity began and stayed at home with Tony. But the end, Stephen, unbelievable. What a journey. He's completely unselfish, kills himself to save half of the universe, bring them back if you like, gives up his young daughter. And what a moment that was for Robert Downey Jr. And a really brilliant performance. I maintain he should have got an Academy Award nomination. He wouldn't have won it, but if he was fucking nominating for it. I mean, what are you doing? Academy.
I'm trying to remember who was up that year.
I'll search it up just now and I'll completely... It'll be 2020.
I've got a funny feeling that your man that wins all the Oscars was up that year. Irish fella.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He wasn't actually, no.
I think that may have been 2019. I'm thinking 2020. I think it is 2020 anyway. Winners, let's see. Wait, nominees. Don't care about the winners. Come on. Fuck's sake, we got not all day here. Best director. Can you give us
it was the year of Parasite, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Joaquin Phoenix won for Joke, didn't he? Yeah, well, I can kind of understand that. I'm not talking about the winner, though. Like, we have to stress, we're talking about nominees.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. With him, I liked Marriage Story.
Yeah.
I liked Adam Driver in Marriage Story, but I think we could move Adam aside and put Robert Downey Jr. in there. Just as recognition for the performance and the arc that character went on for 11 years. 11 years. But Stephen, getting back to the main point of the topic, I completely agree with him.
Yeah.
He shouldn't come back. It would be an admission of defeat for the studio, for this new phase of storytelling, for the new characters that they are trying to introduce. They'd be saying, look, yes, we've brought in like 5, 6, 7 new characters. Yes, there's going to be more coming in. But fuck that, let's bring Tony Stark back. Here's Robert Downey Jr., whip him out. Yay! Let's bring Chris Evans back as Steve Rogers.
Hello, boys, I'm back.
Tony Mackie, he's Captain America. That's quaint. Here's Steve Rogers.
Yeah. Get
Just
the old gang
pointless,
back.
completely pointless, man. You'd be throwing all the work that you've laid down for this new phase, whether you think it's of any great.
The whole thing would collapse and with no stakes whatsoever.
It would. I mean, they did that anyway, to be fair. How many fucking characters died and then were brought back time and again? Did they not have a name for that back in the day? Marvel Fake Death Universe or something like that.
Oh, right, okay.
I think it was something like that anyway. I think John Campea, Gio, used to say that. Don't know what he's doing now. Not watched him in a while. But yeah, Stephen, it would be a poor decision to bring Robert Downey Jr. back. He's got his own career now, post Tony Stark. Let him do his own thing, whatever that may be. He's worked with Christopher Nolan recently and Oppenheimer. He's doing his own thing. I think he's working on something anyway. I remember reading about him working on it. I need to search it up. I can't be asked. He's doing his own thing. Step away. Just what I've spoke about it, Stephen, until I'm blue in the face, and I'm going to repeat it again. I would just be done with it. I just cut it dead. Move on. Leave a 5, 6, 7, 10 year gap. Start again.
Yeah. And you can have
start again.
The
you can
X-Men
have the X-Men. You can have Captain America,
Four.
Steve Rogers. You can have Tony Stark again. You can have all of the gang back. A proper Civil War story. Everything can be done that you couldn't do before because also the studios had different. No, it's not going to happen.
They're just going to drag it on and on.
I know.
And until it dies a death.
It dies a slow, painful death.
Yeah. What is it? The saying that Commissioner Gordon said again in The Dark Knight? If you live long enough, you either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. Yeah, that's
something
exactly
like that, anyway.
what's happened to MCU. It's becoming the villain.
I mean, Stephen, I'm sure there's still some brilliant content coming out.
John, I liked
will come out.
Wakanda Forever. I thought it was a great sequel.
Enjoyed Guardians 3.
Guardians 3 was good. You like
Sean? Deadpool 3 is going to be amazing.
Shang-Chi,
I love Shang-Chi.
I thought The Eternals was okay. I didn't feel like
Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the best Marvel movies ever released.
Yeah.
So they've all come out in the last 3 years or so. So there has been some good releases.
And some of the Disney Plus stuff, like WandaVision, was fantastic.
Not seen Loki season 2 yet, but really enjoyed season 1
I don't know what's
Loki.
going on here with us. I don't know.
I'm just fucking worn out with it, Stephen.
Yeah.
Worn out.
Yeah, and I loved Loki.
Worn out, I know.
I loved Loki as well. I loved it. Season 1 that was. We did the reviews for it because we were looking forward to it every Friday, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then it's momentum.
Hawkeye
it is definitely Hawkeye, yeah. Hawkeye was good. We did some good shows with it.
We did until I slashed myself. Shane.
Still got them?
Oh, they're still there, yeah.
I
they're still
need to see them.
Yeah, Stephen, we went back and watched it, didn't we? Recently,
the ones that are on YouTube, but I'm talking about the ones that are on
I don't know
YouTube.
if I think we have still got them. I'm pretty sure we have. They're never going to see the light of day. I'm not putting them up now. Skinny fucking mess that I am. Skinny mess. One eye's going for the fucking change, the other one going for the shop, and the other one's coming back with the change. Sort of popping out. Go back. Anyone that's coming in and watching, go back to like Family Man season 1 reaction. I think there's a couple of Korean ones as well. I think we reacted to. I want to see my fucking dog's having a 5-course dinner, not a free 5-course meal with his paw behind me. Get back to about a year and a half, 2 years ago. My eyes like that. It's fucking popping. I'm like trying to shut my eye like that to make it look the same size. Ridiculous. ridiculous. But the worst thing that happened at that time was Hawkeye, where I shaved my beard line, because I've got a fucking Hammett Alton top beard line that comes right up to here. I'm like an extra out of Planet of the Apes. I have to trim the line up so it's nice and straight. Overdid it. Blades were shite. Slashed. 2 slash marks in my cheek. And I went in front of a camera. Adamant. Hassan Abbey. If you look Hassan Abbey up on Twitch, that's what I look like. I don't. I wish I fucking looked like him. 6'4", long hair. No chance. But the beard line, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's not going to happen. What is this? I got another comment. What did you guys think about Azure season 2? We never finished it.
No,
I think we watched the first 2-3 episodes.
Yeah. What happened was, and we loved season 1.
It started off really well.
I thought we were honest in season 1 finale. We were a bit browned off for how one decision sort of affected everything. But we gave it an honest review. A lot of people didn't like it. Next thing we knew, we were getting strikes on the channel. Just at the same time, we criticised the decision, which could be a coincidence. Doubt it. I think a lot of people were butthurt on our honest reaction and our review on it. We rated it quite highly, though.
A father sacrificing his own daughter.
Season 1, I can't remember what we rated, but we highly rated it. Yeah,
8 out of 10. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And we started watching season 2, and that's when everything kind of collapsed in terms of watch-alongs, because we were getting strikes and all that kind of thing, and we just couldn't do it.
Emails telling us to take content down.
Yeah, it wasn't just obviously Azure, it was
TVF, all the TVF stuff. Yeah, and
TVF,
it turned out it was what's the name of the parent company of the viral fever? Contagion.
Yeah, so
the guy from there was basically telling this third party to take content down.
Yeah, so
brilliant. It's free to watch on YouTube.
And we I thought Azure season 2 was looking actually better than season 1, which was good. But I think we're the type of people, once we
never did get to the bottom of your main man's shaking hand, what that was about.
Yeah.
Mind he was shaking. I think he was just on drugs or something.
We might put it on our Patreon. I'm not sure. Not really sure what we'll do. It's one of those things, and John's, I think we're similar in that sense. Once you come off something, it's very hard to get back on it again.
You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
Still not finished Red Wolf.
Or Millennium.
I think I've still got those discs.
It's always the last episode you didn't want to watch, because that'd be the ending, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sums me up. Usually a completionist in other walks of life.
A lot of TVF stuff's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm not going to sit here and go, I don't like this stuff anymore because they were bad to us. I loved it. I still think about
It's incredible. One of the best shows I've ever watched.
It was just at the start of summer we started watching it, wasn't it?
Was great. Just
and
brilliant.
We
everything about it.
The
theme.
And just everything. Just the storylines. Characters were fantastic. Yeah.
I'm going to learn that on the guitar.
Yeah.
It's just a great show.
Yeah.
Obviously your man, blanking on his name. Terrible. Bye. What's he called? Why am I blanking on his name?
Who's this?
Main guy.
In
Quarter Factory in Panchayat. He's the actual character's name. The actor's name, sorry.
The actor's name.
Something by. He played himself in Quarter Factory. How the fuck am I blanking on his name?
Abalash.
Abalash, yeah, but what's he called? Something. He just goes something by. I'm going to search it out. It's going to haunt me. Panchayat. Jitendra.
Kumar, yeah.
Jitendra. But that's not what he goes by. Is it Jitendra by? No, it's not. G2 by. Fucking love G2 by, man. What a guy. Yeah, there you go, G2 by. He saved us, kinda. What a guy. Brilliant actor, brilliant human being, man. Love. I'm really looking forward to Panchayat.
Chandan Roy for me, John.
Chandan Roy's amazing. What a fucking guy. Stephen, he's got that energy. There's always someone like that in your life who's just always smiling.
Yeah.
Even if they've got some crazy shit going on, they're always a fucking source of happiness.
Zikas for
go to
me
the football,
was my
man. Obviously,
character.
Scobie going to the football. You could be losing 2-3-0 in a game of football. Arch rivals, and he's smiling. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck this guy does it. I actually want to go out and fucking shoot somebody.
Great characters, great cast, John. Fantastic. Lightning in a bottle. I hope. I'm pretty sure season
3.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, because we watched them continuously. We did, didn't we? Watched them back to back, so it felt like one season. I had to think there. Yeah, season 3.
Yeah, well, the big Pradhan, isn't it? We lost his son. Is it Pradhan? I always say Prahlad. I think it's Pradhan. Prahlad has Pradhan the title. I've done it again, haven't I? Fucking hell.
The lady, yeah.
Oh no.
The real
Bushan, Kranti. Vikas,
Yeah.
Abhilash, Pradhan, Prahlad. What's the name? Dinky? Rinky. Fuck. Rinky. I'm trying to think of the mother's name. I always forget her name.
I'm trying to remember that little sod that was in the village. I hated him.
Bushan.
Was that his name? Was it Bushan?
Kranti and Bushan. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I could not stand him.
What was the mother called?
Well, she was the real...
Yeah, but I think it begins with an M.
Yeah.
Begins with an M, doesn't it? I'm going to find it out here. What a way to end.
Yeah, let's talk about...
Furiously searching up fucking characters from Punjab. Manju, it was a name.
Manju, yeah.
Yes, man. Manju, really inspirational character.
Just a great
It's Mike, man.
series.
The fuck is going on with this Mike?
Yeah, I don't know if I just saw Scam 1992 coming up on the screen there as well, John. I just thought that was another great series. I wish we did the watch along for that, but we weren't doing that at that point. But it was another great series.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Stephen. We discussed that in the first topic.
Yeah.
All the incredible content that's come out of the subcontinent we've had the pleasure of watching over the last 2-3 years in this journey, 3 years plus now.
Yeah.
Started with Scam 1992, a Harshad Mehta story. All the other incredible TV shows. I always think Gangs of Wasseypur is a TV show, but I think it's actually a 2-part film.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Yep.
But Sacred Games, it's because Nawazuddin Siddiqui is in the two of them.
Back, yeah.
And Nawazuddin is just incredible. What an actor he is. He just gives me Harvey Keitel vibes. All the incredible TV shows.
What was the other TV show we watched, John? The one with the
Patal Lock.
Patal Lock. I love that.
Chowdhury.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fantastic.
One of the best pieces of acting I've ever seen in anything was in that TV show when they're asleep. It's the episode they're sleep deprived. And your man, the little sidekick, it's studying for, I think, the UPSC test, is lying in his desk sleeping, and I think they're giving like offerings and like a religious thing in the police station, and he wakes up. That is incredible. One of the best bits of acting I've ever seen. He looks absolutely fucked out of his mind, and I have lived that many times.
Yeah.
Looks like Capranos as well, who I love.
So David Tennant.
This
right,
Mike is just fucking haunted.
I think we'll end it there then.
Yeah. What is your thoughts on the topics we touched upon anyway, man? As I try and furiously click that down, everything's manual with a mouse. Why do I do this to myself? I've literally got a setup on my phone that makes it really easy to do these things. Well, OBS kind of put the spanner in the works with that. What's your thoughts on the topics though? Ranbir Kapoor's Animal tops the global box office, $40 million in its opening weekend week. $48 million in its opening week. The way we speak, I've been thinking long and hard about the way Scottish, in particular Glaswegians, speak, and we just make life really difficult for ourselves. When you've got dry mouth, you think long and hard about the way you're pronouncing things. Lord knows I've had a few fucking balls ups tonight, but not as bad as it has been because I'm on the pastels now. But you think long and hard about the way we speak, and we just butcher words. Film, million, Carol. We just can't. There's certain words we are useless at. We make our lives so much more difficult than they have to be by being really messy and lazy in our pronunciation. Whereas people down in England, very crisp and to the point, you know. Oh, jolly God. But I digress. What's your thoughts on Animal? 48 million at the box office. Share your thoughts down below about the film. Have you seen it? The film. Have you seen it yet? What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on the storyline? Is it brutal? Is it toxic masculinity being explored? What's your thoughts on Bobby Deol being a mute and barely been in the movie? According to reports, I've not seen it. You can tell us if it's true. What's your thoughts on the Marvel Cinematic Universe hitting a historic low? The Marvels bowing out $198 million, I think, from the box office. A disaster. What's going on with the MCU? Is it finished? What's your thoughts on Kevin Feige, Bob Iger, the full gang, seeming to have drove off a cliff like the O'Doyles from the Adam Sandler universe. O'Doyle rules right off the cliff. That's the MCU. Finally, thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. being confirmed. He will not be coming back as Tony Stark ever again. Kevin Feige's confirmed it. I think that's a great thing. Why the fuck would he? Be ruining your career at this point. You can't bet what you've done. What's your thoughts on it though? Share your thoughts down below about that. Anything at all. G2 Buyer, Panchayat Azure, anything we've spoke about. Share it down below in the comment section. It's a place to put your thoughts. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. I had to really think about that there. Hit the notifications button to get an hit the notifications bell to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. I fucking went off piste. You don't do that in outros. I should know that. Same thing over on Twitch. Follow button, notifications button over there. Like and follow us on Spotify podcasts. All that's left to be said is until the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And thank you very much, by the way, to the comments. I do appreciate it. My mic's now up on its stand, but thank you very much anyway. Bye-bye, guys.